Hi there, I'm Robert Hall, and this is your Convention Minute. On behalf of the host organizing committee and Rotarians from the great state of Georgia, I'd like to personally invite you to Atlanta for the 2017 Rotary Convention. We can't wait to welcome you to celebrate 100 years of the Rotary Foundation. Come experience the energy of Hot Atlanta, music, shopping, dining, sporting events, arts, and more. We have it all for you. We're planning a celebration to remember. Don't miss the centennial birthday party or our unforgettable host events, from barbecue and bluegrass to dinner at the World of Coca-Cola or the College Football Hall of Fame. Come celebrate with 11,000 local Rotarians, meet famous artists, CEOs, leaders from the top companies and institutions in the world. The 2017 Rotary Convention is an event you will not want to miss.
Good morning or good afternoon now, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. Tom Wolf, you were on today, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to try something new. I'm going to say the sentence, you fill in the word. Rotary Club of Tulsa, we're a bunch of come together and do great things here and across the world. Turn and greet somebody you haven't said hi to yet this morning. You know, I've always heard people at the head table and the presidents and the song leaders talk about what a beautiful sound it is when the Rotarians sing. But I got to tell you, the most beautiful thing I see is when you guys are greeting each other. It's just fantastic. So thank you very much. We have a great program today, so let's go ahead and get it kicked off. For our invocation this morning is Rabbi Mark Boone Fitzerman. Song and Pledge is by past President Corey Nickerson. And visitor introductions is by Michael Turner. And now for our invocation given by Rabbi Fitzerman.
In every moment of strain and discord, let's draw toward each other as countrymen and friends. Give us the strength to see beyond our differences and attain the promise of respect and mutuality. In a world of shifting light and shadow, let's agree to the idea of a shared reality that has a weight and substance in which all of us partake. We may engage with each other, sometimes urgently, but not deny the reality before our eyes. Words matter and deeds matter, and they cannot be spoken of as if they did not take place. Only this way can we move forward in truth and carry those who cannot carry themselves. Even as we stand in the center of the field, we must force ourselves to look to the margins, where the gleaner waits with downcast eyes. Help us understand that we are all gleaners, and the world belongs not to any human being, but the one who brought us out of darkness and chaos. Our only claim to stand in the light is that we are ready to share all the light we have. Bless this hour, bless this day, and this gentle company, and let us all say, Amen, Amen.
And in this country where unity is needed and where we open our arms and embrace people of all cultures, all religions, and all backgrounds. Let's sing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, our home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone, Rotarians and guests, to the Rotary Club of Tulsa on this beautiful, beautiful first day of February. So we want to thank you for being here and sharing in the joy that we have as being Rotarians and guests of Rotarians. So speaking of guests, I'm going to introduce our guests, and I'm going to ask that our guest and their host Rotarian please stand. And if you will, please hold your applause until the end of our introductions. So Daniel Ketchum has like 20 guests today, so we'll ask him to stand, and then we'll introduce his guest. With him today is Carrie Marshall, Jim Shirley, Mike Maxwell, and Melanie Ketchum. Did I miss anyone? Is there anyone else going? All right. Thank you very much for being here. And with Tiffany Egdorf today is her lovely mother, and who's also a nurse, Janice Navarro. And this nurse is awesome. She has helped our family out on holiday weekends in the middle of the night to provide care for our daughters. So you rock in our world, so thank you. And with Chuck Wilson today is Alex Martinez. Good to have you. And the young gentleman who gave our prayer, Rabbi, is a guest of Norm Simon. Kathy Gurrell has with her today Elizabeth Favel. Okay, and now we will introduce our visiting Rotarians from Sand Springs Club, Harlan Pinkerton. All right, let's give a round of applause to all of our guests. Thank you.
You know, I've never done a meeting on the first of the month, and that doesn't mean anything to you because you don't realize on the end of the month I have to stay up all night and close the books for our company. So I'm running on zero here. Thus, I missed the bell, and I was sitting there listening to Michael, and I thought, who's next? It's me. So my apologies. Let's get going. Our sponsors this morning from Bank First, we have four: Paul Ballman, Monty Curry, Gordon Greer, and Bill Miller. And from Moore Funeral Home, we have Joe and Lynn Moore and David Dopp. Let's give them a round of appreciation. I'd like to now take a little peek at our upcoming programs. I'm personally very excited next week about Tress Way, an OU and Broken Arrow young man that's punting in the NFL now. And it's apropos that on that day of you bringing all your sports guests, we're also going to have a couple of big announcements from IBA. We're going to hear who our master of ceremony is from that person themselves, so you won't want to miss that. And we'll have additional confirmed celebrities for the tables. So if you've been sitting on your bids, you may have run yourself up on the bidding after next Wednesday's meeting because of the new celebrities that are announced. So get your bids in now. February the 15th, Albert Gray, the Children's Rehab Hospital and Tulsa's Pediatric. I think I told you that this is a great success story, not only for the children of Tulsa, but as a business success story. He was sent in to shut down this facility, and he resurrected it, and it's doing extremely well. February 22nd, if you're not here, and everybody you know that's not here, you're going to miss the fun program. This is the one that when I was nominated as president, I put on the calendar. This is Spring Valley Anglers. You probably know nothing about it, but it's a great entrepreneurial success story about a young man that had a dream, and it's also a great conservation story, and it's also a lot of fun. But bring all your friends that like to hunt and fish and be outdoors, and you're going to see quite a piece of property in a very energetic way that'll be introduced. So bring all your friends and guests to those 3 programs. We appreciate you. Now I'd like to ask Phil Viles to come forward, and he's going to introduce the newest member for the Rotary Club of Tulsa. One of my special privileges and us as a club is to bring in new members. So thank you, Phil.
George, if you'll stand up here next to me. President John has made a focus of his presidential year in growing our membership. Chuck Wilson, chairman of the membership committee, has set me as a subcommittee to contact former members of this club who might have an interest in rejoining. I've contacted a number of people, and the first person to accept is George Modry. George was a member of this club from 2010 to 2012. He's originally from the Czech Republic. After graduating from Queen's University in Canada, he got his postgraduate degrees in the U.S., ending with a doctorate degree in physiology. George and his wife became citizens in 1986. Here in Tulsa, he's worked in St. John Hospital. He's worked for 2 nonprofit organizations and for the OSU Medical School. They have 2 daughters. Barbara is a nurse in Anchorage, Alaska, and Pamela is a psychiatrist in the Air Force currently deployed in Germany. He joined Rotary in 1983 in Fort Worth and was a member of 2 Tulsa Rotary clubs. He lives in South Tulsa with his wife, Gwen. Their interests include skiing, boating, motorcycle riding. It's my pleasure to welcome or re-welcome George Modry to our club.
Thank you very much, Phil, and welcome, George. And if John DeBar, can you just stand up for a second and wave? I think John's done every visitor introduction or orientation that we've had so far. Thank you very much, John. You've put your stamp on the club for years. I'd like to invite Catherine up now as our Sergeant of Arms. And Catherine, we missed you.
Oh, and I missed everybody. You know that this is like my favorite time of the week. And so hello, everyone. All right, let's see what we have this week. Sarge time. Okay, where's Jerry? Jerry, stand up, Jerry. We all love Jerry. Jerry celebrated his 74th birthday, and his son, Matt, raise your hand for those who don't know that you two are connected. And he said, this is, birthday fines, especially for relatives, those can go either way. I mean, they can be good, they can be, not so good. But this is what Matt came up with. He said, I would like to say that I'm proud to be your son and for all of the things that you do for Rotary in Tulsa. That guy needs a hug.
All right.
Okay. That was awesome. And now, we have a happy anniversary going to one of Rotary's power couples, one of my favorite power couples, Dana and Michael Burks. And you can see she sent this little collage. I love it. And down in the bottom center, that's them ringing the bell, their annual ringing the bell together for Rotary. And this is what she had to say about this anniversary with this wonderful man. She said, I am so lucky to share this journey with my 3-in-1, my best friend, a great partner, and the love of my life. So how about that? Oh, there you go. Okay, and as promised, it was my birthday this month. So here's my slide. Now, I was going to do a fine, kind of like Matt did for Jerry, $1 for every year, but $29 just did not seem like enough. So I went ahead and went for 50. So this photo was taken shortly after John asked me to be his sergeant at arms. So you can either caption that with, oh my gosh, what did I sign up for? Or I don't really like white wine. So whichever one you want to caption that with. And I also just found out I'm going to have another grandbaby. So number 6, so excited. So thank you very much. Okay, so we have the Tulsa Oiler tickets with Wichita Thunder. BOK made this generous donation to us. The current high bid is $450. Now I know you all are kind of waiting, you're sitting back, waiting to see how high the bids go. Now's the time, because remember, everybody's entering their max bid. So you might think, well, I'm gonna do 700, and you pop in 700, but you've already been outbid. So go ahead, log on. I'm going to be hanging around in the lobby afterwards to help anybody who can't log on or needs help logging on. I'll be happy to hook you up. So our high bid right now is $450. So thank you, BOK. And call me. I'll be calling you. The time has come. I'll be calling you for money. So please, if it's your birthday, anniversary, anything that you can donate to our wonderful foundation, please do so. The money's always used for all of the good things that we do in Tulsa. That's all I got.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, Kathy. Remind my wife later she owes a fine for her anniversary in April. So.
Yeah, okay. I will.
We have two committees today. They're up on your screen. We have Above and Beyond Awards in room 234, and we have a March 15th Rotary Foundation Projects Planning meeting in 233. So if you'd like to be part of that international program we're putting on in March, you're welcome to join us upstairs, and we'll put you to work. We have an announcement this morning about Scry. Who in here hosted Children for Scry? Raise your hand. Wow. So we had a great Scry event. It's kind of a big thing for this club because we do most of the hosting of the kids. They're a lot of fun, aren't they? If they were fun, say whoop, whoop. Okay. And you heard a lot louder than that in your home, I'm sure, and at the restaurants. And if you were a volunteer that Saturday night for the lock-in, you probably are barely recovered. I'd like to thank Trish Kirkstra very much for coordinating those placements. I know that she was, as usual, down to the last minute, people getting sick, people having to travel, finding last-minute replacements. Trish, are you here? Thank you. I didn't see Trish. She is worn out. So thank you very much for taking that on. And I'd really like to recognize everybody that was involved. So from Duff and all the people that hosted kids, if you could stand up and let's give everybody a round of applause. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Rotarian of the Day. Our Rotarian of the Day is Jan Ranke. Jan is a senior litigation counsel for the U.S. Attorney's Office since 2004. She received her law degree from the University of Tulsa in 1985. Go Hurricanes. And starting in March of '86, she worked for Assistant Secretary of Law Enforcement Frank Keating. Sounds familiar, I just can't place it. At the Department of Treasury. In May of '88, she transferred to the Department of Justice as special counsel to the Associate Attorney General, and in October of '88, she became an assistant U.S. attorney in Alexandria, Virginia. We're very glad to have Jan back in Tulsa, and help me welcome her as today's Rotarian of the Day.
Good afternoon. It has been my pleasure to serve as an assistant United States attorney since October of 1988. I started in Alexandria, Virginia, and I was lucky enough to transfer back home in 2004. So I've worked in the office here for 13 years. And I can honestly say it's my pleasure, distinct pleasure today, to introduce to you our U.S. Attorney, Danny Williams. Mr. Williams was nominated by President Barack Obama to serve as the U.S. Attorney in the Northern District of Oklahoma in March of 2012, and he was confirmed by the Senate in August of that year, took the oath on August 7th, 2012, and became a part of the office here in Tulsa. As the U.S. Attorney, Mr. Williams is assisted by a team of assistant U.S. attorneys and responsible for the investigation and litigation of all criminal and civil cases in the Northern District of Oklahoma, which encompasses 11 counties. Since his appointment, Mr. Williams has initiated the Violent Crime Initiative to address criminal activities in Tulsa County. He serves on the Attorney General's Advisory Council for racial disparity and the Racial Disparity Working Group and the Native American Issues Subcommittee. From 1991 to 1993, Mr. Williams served as an assistant district attorney for Tulsa County, and in addition to his previous public service, he has a wealth of litigation experience in private practice. He was a senior partner in Charney, Buss, and Williams from 2003 until his confirmation in 2012. He graduated from Dillard University in New Orleans, Louisiana in 1988, and from the University of Tulsa School of Law with a JD in 1991. And I can personally say I've worked with a number of U.S. attorneys in Virginia and in Oklahoma, and I'll be retiring in December, but I wanted just to say that this is the best that I've worked with, and I'm very proud to call him my boss because he's a man of high integrity, he is a man of sensitivity, and he reaches out to everyone to make sure that we're doing the right thing to help protect the citizens of the Northern District. So now I give you Danny Williams.
Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be back here again. I was here a few years ago, and I was the main speaker, so I'm happy that I'm just toting a little water today. John is going to give a great presentation. I want to thank Jan Ranke. Jan got the biggest promotion, but I love those words. She is one of my favorite assistants over there. She goes at it pretty hard, and I joke with her all the time. I tell her she's become a verb over in federal court. So if you have a case, the defendants say you've been ranked if you have Jan as your prosecutor. So her service to the department has been extraordinary, and I'm very, very, very happy and pleased to have worked with you. Thank you. I'm going to just take 1 minute. John's got about a 25 to 30-minute presentation, so we want to get you back to work and on time. But I want to talk about prescription drugs and what that is leading to and what we're seeing here in Tulsa. So I got a few facts I want to kind of give you. The U.S. makes up about 5% of the world's population, but we consume 75% of the prescription drugs used in the world. 52 million Americans over the age of 12 have used prescription drugs for non-medical use in their lifetime. More people died of overdoses in 2014, the last year that we had, for opioid overdoses. So prescription drugs is not only a public health situation, it's also a public safety challenge that we're seeing here in Tulsa and across the country. So what's leading to this pandemic in the Northeast, but certainly an epidemic across the country? You have, and John will get out, I don't want to steal any of his thunder, but you'll find out that in the early 90s, there was an influx of pain prescriptions, oxy, hydrocodone, pain medications. That's how, and pain pills started being used prevalently. Over the last few years, there's been a crackdown in the use and the prescription of that. Oklahoma has a new database that goes to pharmacists and doctors, and so they're cutting back on prescriptions. And so it's leading to heroin. Heroin is a cheap way to get these releases that you need, that the addicts are looking for. And so what we're seeing here in Tulsa is the increased use of heroin. And like methamphetamine coming up from Mexico, they've now turned to heroin as a drug of choice. And so what we've seen over the last year or so, and Jan actually was, I believe, one of the, maybe 3 years ago, did a conspiracy of heroin, black tar heroin here in Tulsa. And so what we're seeing is the increase of these Mexican gangs, just gangs in general, where they're going away from methamphetamine and to heroin. And they're flooding the market. I think Judge Frizzell is here. I saw Judge Frizzell, and we talked about this last week about what we're seeing. And unfortunately, I think that you will see more heroin prosecutions. And I say that it's unfortunate because that means it's here in Tulsa. That means that, but the good thing about it is we have people like John Scott and the FBI and OBN and TPD who are on top of this. And so we're going to continue to prosecute these cases as vigorously as we can. We have moved away from one count, one defendant cases over in our office, and we're doing more conspiracy cases, and I'm pushing our guys to really look to do bigger cases so that we really can have an impact on these DTOs. So with that said, I'm going to introduce John Scott. John is the RAC, and what I found out in federal services, you got names for a lot of the SAC, RAC, and ASAC, and quite frankly, it's taken me 4 years to understand what all that means. But what it means is that he is the man in charge here in Tulsa. And so when we have issues and I have a bright idea about what we ought to be looking at, John's the guy that I call. And he has been aggressive since he's been the RAC here in Tulsa. He hits it hard, but he knows, and I appreciate that. So without further ado, I want to introduce the RAC for Tulsa, John Scott.